Thank you, President Ortiz. I'd now like to introduce a good friend, a graduate of the college from the class of 1969, and our 2002 distinguished alumnus, Mr. Lance Calvert. Lance and his wife, Elena, have been extremely generous to the college and were one of the very first donors to share in the college's vision long before the first granule of soil was turned on this site. Lance, who grew up in the city of Pomona, has had the opportunity to watch this institution transition over the years and has often shared his great fondness for the campus with me. It is truly my pleasure to introduce Mr. Lance Calvert.
I think they chose me to speak today because I live in Las Vegas and they figured I could handle the heat. I'm not so sure about that. I'm going to speak a little bit about my time at Cal Poly, the Cal Poly dream, and why I became a donor. I attended my first Cal Poly class 48 years ago. I am an old codger. By my second class, which was a freshman math class, I was already lost, staggering around campus like a chipmunk with a yogurt cup stuck on my head, trying to find the classroom. By 10 after the hour, I finally plopped down in my seat, the last to arrive, very embarrassing. The instructor was going over the course material, and words were coming out of his mouth, but they weren't words that I understood. This stuff was way over my head. Thoughts started going through my mind, bad thoughts. What happened at Pomona High School? How come they hadn't prepared me for this? Maybe I'm just not college material. You know, I was working at a supermarket as a box boy, making $1.50 an hour. Maybe I could get on full time. A couple years I might make clerk. They made about $3 an hour, and that seemed like a lot of money to me. As I was plotting my future without college, I looked up at the clock, and it was 15 after the hour. 15 after 10 o'clock. My class started at 11 o'clock. This was an advanced class for math majors. I wasn't a math major and I wasn't advanced. I stayed for the entire class, and the good news is that I was actually early for my class. Obviously, I had a lot to learn. You hear a lot about living the American dream. I'm going to talk about living with the Cal Poly dream, and this may be familiar to some of you. In this dream, I'm attending Cal Poly and taking 5 classes. Things are really going well in 4 of the classes. However, in the 5th class, I'm in trouble. I haven't been attending the class. The paper is due. The final is coming up, and I'm in an indescribable panic. Then I wake up in a pool of sweat, taking a few moments to realize it was only a dream. No, I'm not at Cal Poly. I don't have a paper due, and the final isn't coming up. I've had this dream for over 40 years after attending my last class here. Thanks a lot, Cal Poly. Now there's a variation of this dream where I show up for my finals wearing only my underwear, but I'd really rather not go into that. When I left Cal Poly, I was glad to get out of here. It was time to move on, and I never thought about coming back. While here, I mainly worked and went to school. It seemed to me as though I had as many struggles as triumphs. And I didn't return for 25 years. So why am I here? Well, things change. It's kind of like how your parents become smarter the older you get. I began to see how the Cal Poly experience had made my life better. It opened some doors that led to opportunities. It made my path in life a little smoother. Maybe it was something I learned in report writing or statistics or salesmanship class. Knowledge that I have used my entire life. And it was more than just business classes. I've led a fuller life because of the liberal arts classes that are part of a Cal Poly education. I met some like-minded business school graduates who shared this appreciation and gratitude for what Cal Poly contributed to their lives. These are people who had done well in life and now wanted to do good in life. And when they thought about doing good, Cal Poly was at the top of their list. People like Ron Gregoire, Mickey Siegel, and Dorothy Roberts, just to name a few. They were following in the steps of W.K. Kellogg, who had believed in investing in people. And that's what this building complex is about, investing in current and future Cal Poly students. Cal Poly made an investment in me, and now it was time for that investment to pay some dividends. One of the compelling reasons for becoming a donor was more personal, and it has to do with upward mobility. Maybe you didn't start out life in the best of circumstances, but in our society, you don't have to stay there, and you can improve your lot in life. The best way I know to do this is through education and hard work. I was lucky. I had a mother, father, and sister who cared about me and wanted me to do well, and I had Cal Poly. Cal Poly allowed me to live at home and work my way through school. This is the only way it was going to happen for me and for many other Cal Poly students. I know that you can improve your life through education and hard work because it happened to me. During most of my youth, my mother worked as a babysitter. She worked at the then going rate of 50 cents an hour. Our family needed the money. One couple that she worked for was the late Norm and Helen Williamson. Nice people. Mr. Williamson was the grandson of W.K. Kellogg and actually grew up on the Cal Poly campus. 40 years later, Norm and I ended up on the same board at Cal Poly. At some point in my Cal Poly career, I kind of hit my academic stride and earned a scholarship to graduate school at the University of Southern California. While I enjoyed my time at SC, I want you to know something. I never think of myself as an SC guy. I always think of myself as a Cal Poly guy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lance. At this time, I'd like to invite our donors and distinguished guests to join us at the ribbon. Jeff and Natalie will help you get into position right over there. At the conclusion of the ribbon cutting, I invite you all to join us at the reception, and I encourage you to check out the new facility. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you inside.